Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? Because it's time to put them on. Because the conversation starts now. Kind, it would be wonderful.
Thank you.
Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. This is the place, your daily stop. The location where the conversations are pointed and the guests are sharp, the responses are never dull. And we are in the UK today with Rose Gaudion. I'm excited to talk to her. She is going to have a conversation with me about changing your mindset. We talk about that all the time, but you don't realize that you do have the opportunity to make a change. You don't have to wait till next year. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. You can make a change in the next second. People do it all the time, but you've got to want it and you got to show up. And this wonderful woman here, she specializes in emotional freedom technique, rapid transformational therapy, neurolinguistic programming, and meditation. You know, and if you pour into, maybe you don't latch onto all of them. It's a lot of work. Okay, I get it. But if you take it systematically, one thing at a time, trial and error, you will find that it will be so beneficial in so many ways. And she's going to tell us that and more. Welcome her to the show. How are you, Rose?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. It's so exciting.
Oh, I'm excited too. So tell us a little bit about how you show up in the world and how all these modalities and this change mindset fell into your lap.
How it fell into my lap. I started several years ago in my 40s. I was having a real hard time. It was very difficult. I had a divorce. And I moved away with my daughter to my now husband. And I had such sleeping difficulties. I was stressed to the brim. So many problems with my ex-husband and my daughter together. It just didn't really work out. And I was always in the middle. You know, you try to do your best for your daughter and to have the communication with her father. Despite our problems together, it is still that they are father and daughter. So I was just having all these problems and that got really bad. I tried to find help from the doctors. What the doctors do is they give you medication. Try this to sleep, try that to sleep, and that's it. But they don't help you to get to the root cause of it, to get really rid of the problem. So I've been looking into things, and the first thing that I found was NLP. So I found it really interesting. I've been looking into it a long time, started reading the books from Richard Bandler, and I found it absolutely amazing how the mind works and what you actually can do with words, how it can change, how your perspective can change, the way you speak to other people, and understand that the way they speak to you is often very different meant as that you receive it.
Well, and also when you go really deep into NLP, it can change you at a molecular level. It can go into your DNA, it can go into your cellular level and give you an opportunity to reprogram that.
Absolutely. And that was very fascinating. So after a few years looking into it, it took me a little bit. I decided to go and do the course. And I went to London for a whole week with Richard Bandler himself and Kathleen and John Lavelle. They were all absolutely amazing. And it made such a huge shift. You just really learn to go into the deeper, into the subconscious mind, change the way you see things, the feelings. You can turn so much around with it, with little techniques, little tricks, with pictures, colors, make it bigger, make it smaller, move it a different way. It's so fascinating what you can do with it. Your mind has so much power to change things in a short period of time.
Absolutely. So, how did you incorporate now RTT and EFT? I'm a tapper, and it was funny. I tell this story all the time. The first time my husband saw me doing it, he says, "Baby, is something wrong? Are you itching?" And I was like, "No, no, I'm not." And so I explained it to him, and he didn't get it the first couple times, but after that, he got it.
Well, RTT is a very different thing because with RTT, we combine the conventional speech therapy with cognitive behavior therapy, neuro-linguistic programming, and speech therapy, and of course, the hypnosis with it. What we do there is we put them in an hypnosis and we do a regression. We go back to about 3 or 4 scenes from where the problem started. So we really go and dig and find the root cause. Then we do a complete transformation, reframe it, and then we make a complete personalized recording where the people can listen to for 21 days. And of course, we
Mm.
stay in touch with them and we keep supporting them in that whole time. The EFT is what I do separate, but I do take some modalities, a little parts of the RTT in it. We call that RFPI. It's role, function, purpose, intention. And I just let them relax and feel where the part in the body is and give that part a voice. Like, why is it there? What is it doing for that person? How does it look? How does it feel? Does it have a color or a shape, a weight? And then I go work with that. Then I look, what is the words what come up? And then I will go and tap on that, on what come up with that. That is how I get faster and deeper into the problem.
Now, when you uncover these problems, these issues, it's scary.
It can be very scary.
But
Yes.
what's also scary is the new person that you're about to meet.
Oh,
Okay. Because there's got to be a settling in. I mean, you've had a breakthrough, you've had a transformation, you've had
yeah,
an elevation, you've had a realization from trauma. And so now, how do I deal with this? How do I make this work? And how do I keep some of these tools that you have given me in my toolbox? How do I grab hold to them when I'm not working with you? So my first question to you is continuous, ongoing um, check-ins. Do you provide that? Because
yes.
sometimes what happens, not all the time, but we get addicted to certain things. So now we
Mhm.
don't have this issue, but now we've got this issue. Like I've seen people that have come out of recovery and they've gotten off cocaine or heroin, but they're heavy on those cigarettes and coffee. So it's you're replacing one thing uh, for the other. How do you work with your client to make that transition, to settle into the new you?
Absolutely. I keep on supporting them always, like also with the RTT, at least the 3 weeks afterwards. When there's a problem that shows up, I work with them. And I keep on working with them until the problem is solved. I will never just let them go and let them figure it out on themselves. That is not why I do this. I do this to help the people. So if they come to an EFT session and they go home and they will a few days later and say, listen, it is really good, but there's still something stuck. That's fine. I just make another appointment and then we just work further on it. And that's fine. Because when somebody does it, they want to come out. Of course, there are certain issues where we know they're going to need more as just one session. Trauma is going to be more extensive. So we need more sessions as just one because you have to peel away the layers. And that can be quite a few. The same is with extreme phobias. It's just going to take a while. Even when we have with some people, we can have a very fast result. It depends a lot.
And a lot of times you don't want to go, you've lived with this for 15, 20 years, sexual trauma,
Yeah.
abuse, neglect. You don't want to go through this quick. You want to go through it systematically. You want to make sure that there's a syncopation, that as you go through each process, you adjust. If there's questions, problems, nightmares, whatever, you're able to work with Rose. But Rose, let me ask you a question. What is your ROI? I say
Mm.
this with love. What do you get out of this?
Well,
Because I get it. You know, we all want to help people, you
yeah,
know, but it's a drain to help people sometimes.
it is. It can be. Of course, you have to learn to shield. It's just something that the most of the therapists, they have to learn to shield themselves from the energy, from all the problems. So what I learned over the time is really when I sit here, I hear the problems. And when I leave this room, I leave it here. So
Mm,
that's one
okay.
thing. That is a very important thing. For what do I get return on it? You know what the most extraordinary thing is when you start with somebody and somebody is sitting there and is crying and is stressed. And when you're done, on the end, they're sitting there relieved, relaxed, with a smile on their face.
Mm,
For me personally, that is one of the biggest payments I can get.
right.
Of course, I mean, I do need normal payment. That's normal because we all need to live. We have to
Well,
eat.
and you know what? And I'm glad that you brought that up because a lot of times that people have energy healing gifts. They have different type of spiritual gifts. They are intuitives. They are empaths. They are just, you would pay a psychologist 125 to 200 to $300 an hour. There is value to what you bring. And a
Yeah,
lot of people in these type of modalities don't know how to package it, market it, and sell it, and then cash in on it.
yeah,
Brains, you have to understand that she has spent eons, thousands of dollars, endless hours of training, studying, and testing to do what? Help you.
yeah. It is true. It does cost quite some money to learn all that and to test. Because before I start really asking money, I do I do training sessions
Right,
because I want to learn. Even when we've learned it, we keep on learning with all our clients because everybody's different and everybody reacts different. And sometimes we are also there like, oh my God, this is amazing. I have to write this down because this is good. I
right.
can use this for other clients too. And that is just how a lot of things actually come together.
Now, culturally, let me ask you a question. You're there in the UK.
Yes.
Are they very receptive to this type of, uh, for the lack of a better term, therapy?
Um, well, I think they are that everywhere a lot. I think it's how desperate somebody is.
Hmm.
If they can't find anything else that can help them, then they will try everything. I do know that hypnotherapy is often the last resort they go to because they're still a little bit suspicious about it
Yeah,
because
they
they,
think it's like a carnival sideshow that you're gonna you're gonna turn me into a frog. You're gonna make me quack like a duck.
yes,
But what you have to understand, Brains, is that you are not going to be suggestions are not going to be implanted in you. Your mind already knows who you are and what you're capable of doing and what you want to do. There's
yes,
recordings of these conversations that you have that you're going to hear where you were, the answers to the question, and the process that the therapist took you through.
absolutely.
They think that when they get home, you're going to be able to snap your fingers and something's going to happen.
Oh, no, 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 not at all. What a lot of people aren't aware of that your subconscious mind is there to protect you, to make you survive in this world. When I put you in hypnosis, I will never be able to let you do things that goes against your morals or your values. The unconscious mind will stop that, will not allow that. It's not going to happen. And we also don't put you that deep because we have to get answers from you. So we ask questions that you have to answer us. You will always be able to open up your eyes and to stand up.
Mm.
That is not the problem. So you are not out of control. You're just in a very relaxed state where it makes it easier to access your unconscious mind, to find the answers you have already inside you.
So that's like now I've been listening to some hypnosis tapes and some meditations. Yes, brains. I'm not going to put nothing before you that I wouldn't eat myself. Okay. So I want to let you know. And so think of hypnosis as that transitional state as you're trying to self-soothe yourself to fall asleep. And as you start taking those deep breaths and you lay there and you get very comfortable, before you get into the REM sleep, the deepest part of the sleep, you're somewhere in the middle where you are still semi awake or conscious and you're able to process and still make decisions. I mean, it's like you're halfway there and you got like your body goes, oops, I gotta pee. You stand up, you go to the bathroom, you come back, but you can settle back into that space. Am I correct in assuming this, Rose? That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's a very good explanation. But it's also often when some people stand in front of the red light and the mind goes away and somebody hunks behind you because you don't see the light is going on green. It's the same kind of state that you're in.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's just a relaxation. It is just to get the conscious mind out of the way.
So now who is your ideal client? Everyone's not going to be everybody's client. And if
No.
you find someone that there's no synergy and that's no fault of anybody's, it just doesn't gel, what do you suggest to that person?
Well, if somebody doesn't gel with me, that is fine because I cannot work with everybody. But the same goes for me. I sometimes don't gel with the clients, and that is fine. I have a lot of great colleagues where I can ask and refer them to. I have a huge group where we have about 15 therapists, 50, and we all have different kind of specialities. So I do have enough people to refer to when we don't gel. That is not a problem at all.
Yeah,
And
and when we say that, brains, it's it might be a situation that she might be not able to relate with. you know it might be a life experience. Her goal is to help every individual under the sound of her voice, but helping you also means sometimes redirecting. So I like the fact that you are 100% transparent, even with me on the podcast. Sometimes there's not a synchronicity between me and the particular guest. Not that they're not a great person and I'm not a great person. It just, they're not in alignment. And when you're doing this type of work, you need to be in alignment. Give us
absolutely.
some suggestions on what we would look for when we're looking to work with someone in this area and these modalities. What would be, 4 or 5 things on our checklist?
Well, first of all, the most important thing I think is that you have to connect to the therapist. Because if you don't trust the therapist, you will not open up. That is the first thing. The other thing is, what is their speciality from the therapist? Is it what you are looking for? That is very important. How do they work? What kind of therapy is also important because not everybody likes hypnotherapy. It's why I choose to do different things. Some people don't want to do hypnotherapy because of religion. I've heard that many times.
Mm,
So there are a few things that is important, but I think for me personally is, do I connect?
right.
That
Right.
is because then when the connection is not there, I cannot go and put somebody in hypnosis and get the answers I need to get from them to be able to help them.
And
It's
I'm gonna
just,
tell you something else too. I'll be real transparent, brains. I tell you guys the truth. I had someone that tried to put me under hypnosis, and I fought it. I didn't feel it, and when I didn't feel it, I didn't allow them to go under. I didn't allow myself to go under. And she kept saying to me, she says, "Well, I don't feel the connection. I don't feel the connection." And I'm saying to myself, I don't feel it either, sister.
exactly.
But I was honest with her and I said, you know what? And you know what it was? I didn't trust her.
Yeah.
And trust is huge because
With the
it's just like these coaches, you know. I'll talk to someone and I'll do, a consultation with them. And when we get down to brass tacks, they're not walking the walk. They're not talking the talk. They are out there pretending to be something that they're not. What they fail to realize, you are holding someone's trust. They are uh, coming to you for consultation, for guidance, for understanding, for wisdom. It's not just because you're cute. They're coming to you because they trust you
yes,
and they want to build a relationship with you. So take that into consideration. Go with your gut more so
absolutely.
than anything. Have your
Yes.
checklist. Ask for their experience. Ask for some references. How Rose might work with April might not be the way she works with Betty. Each person is very individualized and she customs her training and her skill set based upon your needs. So be sure, just like a doctor, when you go to the doctor, my doctor loves me because I'm in and out in 25 minutes. I've got everything written down that I want her to check. She says, oh, I just love it, because I don't have to ask a bunch of questions. No, you have to be your own advocate in everything you do, mentally, spiritually, financially, relationship, all of that. But Rose, I want to ask you some fun questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's have some fun for a minute. My favorite question, if you were an appliance in the kitchen, what appliance would you be and
Oh
why?
my God. What appliance would I be? Oh my God, that is a good question. Um, I would say a mixer
A lot of people want to be a mixer. Why do you want to be a mixer?
because I like to do different things. It's probably the reason why I learn different kind of things because I like to mix and match. So
Okay.
I take a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I work very much on intuition. I listen to my gut feeling a lot. Sometimes I already know the answers before the clients tell me. But that
Mhm.
is yeah, that's probably why I want to be a mixer because I just mix and I like mixing to do different components together and it works great. It's amazing what
I
kind
know.
of result you get out of it.
I think I want to be a champagne glass.
Oh, fancy. I want to be so
Yeah, I'm going to toast to you. Absolutely. If you were a flower in the garden, what flower would you be?
ooh, a flower. My favorite flowers have I like callas. You know what flower that is? A calla? I really like those. They are really, really beautiful. But to be honest, also a sunflower. A
Mm,
sunflower always goes towards the sun.
yes, that's beautiful. I
And
think I'd be a calla lily. I
mm,
like the calla lilies. They're beautiful. And it always reminds me of those that have gone before me, and they always bloom at the right time. They bloom
oh,
in the spring and they bloom in the fall. If you were an animal, what animal would you be?
a cat. I love cats.
You'd be a cat? Is that a little bit of a predator in you? Do you like to kind of, sneak to the side and peek around? Are you very independent?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am. But it's also nice. Cats can also relax really well and just take the time and just do and take care of themselves because they're very clean animals and sometimes they have a personality. They let you know how they feel.
Or
So if
don't
they
feel. I've
yeah,
never been a cat person. They've always been too independent. I need a dog. I need somebody that is dependent upon me. You know what animal I'd be? I'd be a party animal. How about that one?
that's a good one too. I've been there. I've done that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Um, if your words had an odor, what would they smell like?
Um, I like the little lilies. I do not know how they're exactly called on English. Um, I think they grow in May. They're like little clocks. They smell so good. Or jasmine. Oh, I love jasmine.
Yeah.
Jasmine is such a nice. Oh,
I think mine would be butterscotch.
mm.
I like,
Oh, Jasmine
yeah,
too. Yes.
I like that. If you had three wishes,
Three wishes.
anything, anything in the world,
Everything,
what would
anything
they
in
be?
the world. Oh, I have actually many, but what would be really good? I would wish, first of all, that children would be safe. It's a very big thing for me because so many children are suffering
Mhm.
from abuse and trauma. That would be one of my biggest wishes. Poverty, absolutely, because there's so much poverty, and at the moment it's just getting worse. My heart goes a lot out to children. I don't know why. It's something that I've always had. My biggest wish, actually, that so many people would get over their traumas. When I see how many people are suffering, when I just scroll through the Facebook pages, I'm like, oh my God, so many people are suffering anxiety, depression, and it is so exploding. If I could snip my fingers and take it all away, I would.
Hmm.
It is, I don't know, I just often can feel the pain of the people who are writing this. And sometimes I just want to go hug them and like, I can take it away. But
I know. But I don't know. I'm a person of philosophy and, spirituality, but also religion. And there are things called necessary evils. Because if we never experience bad, we don't know what's good.
it's true. It's
We
true.
never feel, we're never sick. We don't know what it is to feel well. I understand that and I have empathy 110%. Um, that's like people will say, oh, I have this miracle cure. Well, sometimes we're all organic. We all have an expiration date. But what I am hoping in my lifetime is that I can work with great people like you and others to be able to settle into whatever situation comes my way.
Mm,
I used to ask
exactly.
my mother, I say, Mama, it's not fair. And she goes, it's very fair. She says, it's very fair. She says, you're all going to get a turn at the wheel. But it's
It's
how we go through the process, it's how we respond, it's how we react, and it's
yes.
how we pay it forward. It's not how you die, brains, it's how you live.
Yeah.
And
Very smart, very wise.
there's a lot of great people, and that are dedicating their life to help you. So reach out to wonderful people, beautiful lilies like Rose, that are really there to help. But it's helping her as well because it brings her joy. She's been
Yeah.
through a lot. She's made a big investment. Please tell my brains how to get in contact with you, Rose, so that they can work with you, contact you. If nothing else, have a consultation and just look at the next step.
Yeah. Well, consultations is something I always do because, like we already talked before, you have to be able to connect. At the moment, I think the easiest way is over Facebook, just Rose Gaudion. It's Gaudion. You find my Facebook group there. My website is there. You can get in contact over there. It's, I think, the easiest way and the fastest way to do it.
Well, and it's the best way. Brains, I want you to reach out and touch her. Absolutely. Please go in, love, like, and share. Love, like, share, and subscribe. Please to On the Edge and check out Rose. Have a conversation with her. She's omnipresent. You can contact her anywhere in the world just via Zoom. Um, she's just so sweet. I love her voice inflection. I could imagine her taking you into a meditation very similar to some of the tapes that I'm listening to right now. It's just very soothing. And that's what you want to do. You want to take that edge off. You want to reduce the anxiety in your life. You want to be free. You want to be
Yeah.
like a cat. Relax.
Yeah, exactly. Relax.
Yes. So
Mhm.
thank you, Brains, and thank you, Rose. Please come back. Keep me updated on any new modalities, what you're doing. If there's questions, Brains, please leave questions, comments, because we don't know what you don't know. And we want to be able to help you with that, but also we want to be able to grow and evolve as well.
Thank you. It
Right.
was so nice to be here.
Thank you. Bye, brains.
Bye.